Okay, so I've read Millionaire Habits by Steve Adcock, and I wanted to share 5 habits from this book with you because while reading this book, I realized that I'd quietly been living by some of the principles that millionaires practice every day, and I've seen firsthand how true they are and how they can help build unshakable inner confidence just like a millionaire even before you become one. For context, Steve Adcock, the author of this book, is a former tech professional who became financially independent at age 35, and he now teaches others about the road to financial independence too. So Millionaire Habits is packed with practical advice about saving money, investing, and building financial independence, especially for anyone chasing the FIRE lifestyle. If you haven't heard of the FIRE lifestyle before, it stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. But this video isn't about the money at all. It's about the mindset of millionaires. Because beyond all the spreadsheets and savings plans, what Steve Adcock is really teaching is how millionaires think and behave. The 5 millionaire habits I'm about to share focus on the psychology behind their success, mental patterns that make some people take action while others hesitate. Well, I agree with the 5 habits I'm about to share from the book for the most part, except for the 5th one. Keep watching because my take on that might surprise you. And by the end of this video, I think you'll start looking at risk, boundaries, and luck in a completely different way. And you'll see why becoming a millionaire is not something that's reserved for the lucky few. With that, let's begin. Habit number 1. Millionaires say yes even when they're not ready. What if the difference between staying stuck and building real momentum isn't luck, but how you think? I used to believe success came down to lucky breaks, being in the right place at the right time, or knowing the right people. But over the past few years, something shifted. I started finding more opportunities when I said yes to things I wasn't fully ready for, and when I took small risks that somehow led to bigger wins. So let me ask you this. How many times have you said no to something? Not because you didn't really want it, but because you didn't feel ready, or because you thought, that's just not for me, that's not who I am. Maybe it was a job that felt too big, a conversation that felt too intimidating, or an idea that felt too uncertain. We usually tell ourselves, I'll do it when I feel ready. But here's the uncomfortable truth. That moment rarely comes when you're waiting. If you haven't already, you should watch the movie Yes Man, that Jim Carrey movie where he starts saying yes to everything. It's funny, but the message hits hard. Sometimes saying yes before you're ready is what actually changes your life. Now, there are things you should think through before jumping in, but this mindset of saying yes is especially important with the opportunities that happen to find you naturally. Because when someone reaches out, offers you a role, a chance, a collaboration, it's not random. They see something in you that you might not see in yourself yet. So then, it's not blind optimism, it's calculated risk. Steve Adcock writes that millionaires tend to say yes even when they're not ready because they are of the mindset that they'll figure it out as they go. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized every meaningful shift in my life started with a hesitant yes. Like when I agreed to a coffee chat that later became a friendship, or when I said yes to a side project I had no idea how to start. And every time I leaned in before I was ready, I didn't feel confident at first. Confidence came after. So millionaires flip the usual order. Most people think when I'm confident, I'll take action. But millionaires think when I take action, I'll become confident. That's partly how I got myself to start this YouTube channel. This is about trusting your resourcefulness more than your readiness. And again, this isn't about reckless ambition. Steve calls this strategic courage, the willingness to grow into a challenge instead of waiting to feel qualified for it. So if you're feeling stuck or stagnant, this might be the mindset shift that changes everything. Ask yourself this week, what's one thing you could say yes to before you feel ready? Maybe it's raising your hand for a new project, maybe it's asking for a raise at work, or reaching out to someone you admire. Maybe it's finally starting that side hustle that you keep overthinking. Because the truth is, you'll never be fully ready. But you have to learn to trust that you'll figure it out along the way. And as Richard Branson famously said, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure if you can do it, say yes, then learn how to do it later. Habit number 2, millionaires are selfish. When I first read this chapter title, I laughed a little because let's be honest, it sounds terrible. We're taught that selfishness is bad and that putting others first means you're a good person. But I've learned the hard way that always putting everyone else first can actually be harmful. And Steve reframes it perfectly. Selfishness in the right context is healthy. He writes that our ability to give back and help others is directly connected to the strength of our own personal foundation. And that line just clicked for me. For years, I felt guilty about putting myself first. And as a woman, that guilt sometimes came with extra layers of complexity, feeling like I should always say yes, show up, and be available. But somewhere along the way, I burnt out. I was saying yes to every request, taking on too much, and running on fumes. And ironically, the more I tried to help others, the worse I felt. So yeah, now I understand what Steve means by being selfishly intentional. Millionaires focus on building strong personal foundations like their mind, body, and finances before they try to pour into others. It's like that classic airplane rule. Put your oxygen mask on first before helping others. And I think being selfish in this sense isn't about greed. It's about sustainability. Because, and this might sound a little cliche, but you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't think clearly if you're overwhelmed. And you can't give generously if you're constantly constantly feeling depleted yourself. I used to be a freelance solopreneur in data science before I started creating content on YouTube. Back then, I made content all about tech, data, and analytics, and honestly, I burned out because somewhere along the way, I realized I was performing more for the audience than creating for myself. So I stepped back, took a year and a half, 2 years off, and relearned how to trust my pace, build sustainable systems, and own my voice. And now, coming back, I'm able to share what I've learned from a much stronger place that's grounded in clarity and self-trust. Because I know what it feels like to not have that and still try to help others. When your foundation, like your health, goals, peace, is solid, you give more from a place of abundance, not exhaustion. And Steve says this kind of selfishness makes millionaires calm and focused. They know their energy is a resource and they guard it carefully. And I found that to be true in my own life. When I stopped trying to please everyone and started focusing on the people and projects that actually mattered, everything shifted. So if you've ever felt guilty for setting boundaries, reprioritizing, or taking breaks, remind yourself you're not being selfish, you're being strategic. And millionaires know that taking care of themselves isn't indulgent, it's essential. Because when you protect your energy, you maximize your impact. And maybe that's the real lesson here. Self-care isn't a reward for success, it's the foundation of it. Habit number 3. Millionaires automate everything. At surface level, automating finances sounds purely practical, like setting up auto-pay, auto-invest, or recurring transfers to savings accounts. But the mindset shift underneath is much deeper. Millionaires understand that discipline is fragile when it relies on emotion. They know that if every decision from how much should I invest this month to should I skip the gym today depends on willpower, they're already losing mental bandwidth. Automation then isn't about nurturing laziness, it's about building a system that protects you from your weaker moments. I think the bigger principle really is decide once and win repeatedly. When you automate, you make a strategic decision once, consciously, calmly, and with logic. Like you might look at your budget, priorities, and goals, and then you let that decision quietly run in the background without constantly revisiting it. So the mindset behind automation is trusting your current rational self to make decisions that your future emotional self will thank you for. It's almost like psychological leverage. You remove friction from good habits and eliminate decision fatigue. I apply this in almost every area of my life, from fitness to money. I used to spend on instant stimulation in my early 20s, but now I spend on building stability. Because at its core, automation isn't just about saving time, it's about regulating emotion. It gives structure to chaos. And it's the same reason great leaders delegate, not to avoid work, but to preserve energy for the decisions that actually matter. Think about it. The mental energy that goes into debating small choices every day could be redirected towards something like creativity, learning, or meaningful work. Millionaires conserve energy by automating the predictable so they can focus on the exceptional. And that's the mental model at play here. It's set, forget, and then use that energy to grow. So when you automate your finances or even your morning routine, you're not outsourcing responsibility, you're optimizing for consistency. It's like you're saying, I trust my systems more than my moods, and there's power in that. Habit number 4. Millionaires create their own luck. I love this one. Let's talk about one of the most persistent myths out there, that successful people just got lucky. In fact, the book talks about how Dave Ramsey's research found that 74% of millennials believe all millionaires inherited their wealth, but in reality, only 21% did. And of that, only 3% inherited more than 1 million. And according to WealthX, 7 out of 10 wealthy people earned their fortune themselves. Those numbers kind of blew my mind because they show how common the luck illusion really is. We look at someone's success and say they were in the right place at the right time, but we forget how much effort went into putting themselves in that place over and over again until the timing was right. Millionaires don't wait for luck, they manufacture it. They take calculated risks, they meet new people, they try new ideas, and they put themselves in rooms where opportunities might appear. And they understand that luck isn't a lightning strike, it's a byproduct of consistent action. It's sort of like stacking probability. The more times you show up, the more likely something will click. For me personally, every time I started something new, like a side project, a collaboration, or even just a random coffee chat, I was planting seeds for future luck. And yeah, sometimes nothing grows, and sometimes it takes months, but every small action increases your odds of something good happening. The idea is that you create luck by being on the move. And the key word here is create. Let me give you another example. South Asians are often labeled as having bad genetics. There's this common belief in our community that we're just not built to be fit, and that how healthy we are or how fit we are is all just predetermined. But I think I decided to create my own luck. I changed my body composition, rewired my beliefs, and built an athletic body, all while working a regular 9 to 5. I showed up, I worked hard, and over time I saw real change. So the real question then becomes, how much control are you willing to take, and how much are you willing to give away to the idea of luck and destiny. Because you can't win a game if you never play. You can't expect to win the lottery if you never even buy a ticket. And yes, external factors do matter. Privilege, timing, and access, those things are real. But the mindset that luck decides everything is dangerous because it takes away your power. And Steve puts it brilliantly in his book. Positive compounding may be harder for some because of external factors, but it's not impossible. However, negative compounding is always reversible. I think this idea is true because it means you have more control over your growth, healing, and outcomes than you think. Even if you've been feeling stuck, one new decision today can start changing your trajectory tomorrow. And most millionaires don't see luck as random. They see it as earned randomness, the result of showing up repeatedly until probability starts to favor you. So that's what people mean when they say, the harder I work, the luckier I get. Because hard work isn't just about chasing results, it's about building the discipline, skill, and confidence that make you more visible and prepared for opportunities when they come. Even when things don't work out, you're still moving forward, learning, connecting, and compounding. So if you've been waiting for the perfect moment or the lucky break, don't. Focus on increasing your surface area of luck. Try new things, talk to new people, and take small calculated risks. Because every attempt, even the failed ones, will teach you something that brings you closer to success. Habit number 5, learn to follow strengths, not passions. Follow your passion. We've all heard it. It sounds inspiring, but Steve Adcock points out that it can also be misleading. Most people interpret passion as what they enjoy and what feels good. And Steve argues that passions can be fleeting, they change, they fade, and more importantly, we're often not very good at them when we start. We do them simply because they're enjoyable. But strengths, on the other hand, are things we're already skilled at and often built through education and experience. And he believes our strengths are what allow us to create real, tangible value, and they're also easier to learn a living from. Now, while I agree that following your strengths is smart advice, I don't fully agree that follow your passion is bad advice either. Because I believe passion can become a strength if you're willing to work for it. If millionaires can create their own luck and you already know what excites you, then passion doesn't have to stay on the sidelines. It can be trained. And I believe in integration, combining what energizes you, like your passion, with what delivers results, like your strengths. For example, my passion is helping people reframe how they think through frameworks and storytelling. But my actual strength is analytics, and I use that analytical mind to structure and communicate ideas in a way that resonates with my audience. So if your passion is design but your strength is leadership, you could consider leading creative teams. I also have a video about 10 transferable skills from my data science job that I use in content creation, which might just help you think differently about your own strengths. Do check it out after this video. I'll drop the link in the description below. So yeah, I don't see passion and strength as competing forces. I see them as complementary inputs. Passion ignites the work, but strength is what sustains it. So yeah, my take would be that follow your strengths, but also invest in turning your passions into strengths. Because I believe that's where real long-term satisfaction and wealth comes from. Get so good at what you do that you start loving it. So when I finished reading Millionaire Habits, I realized it's not just a book about wealth, it's a book about building inner confidence. Because the 5 habits I shared with you are really about one deeper principle, believing that you have more control than you think. And you don't have to be a millionaire by net worth to think like one. You just have to adopt their mindset, which is all about being proactive, intentional, and unafraid to grow. So maybe this week, say yes to something new, set one boundary that protects your peace, and take one small action that increases your luck. If you like this video, share it with a friend, or if you want to keep this energy going, check out my other videos on mindset and frameworks for success. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, you're closer to your transformation than you think.